Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Adobe Live. Hello, everyone in the chat.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Hello, Richard. Hi, Justin. Hi, Sam. It's good to see you all. Let us know where you're coming from, where you're tuning in from. Right here, right now, we're in San Francisco. It's beautiful today.
Yep.
We're here with the wonderful Phan. Welcome back to Adobe Live on Behance. I hope you guys are excited. We're going to be talking about design systems today. And in about 30 minutes, we have a chat to win opportunity for everyone. It's 100 free Sticker Mule stickers. They're awesome. They take over laptops and water bottles everywhere. Hi, Howard. Awesome, so great. And make sure you guys to tune in a little bit later in the stream. We'll be going over the Daily Creative Challenge. Really excited to see those. Yesterday we talked all about components, and today I'm pretty sure it's all about Repeat Grid.
Yes.
So, get working, Repeat Grid, we all know how to use it. The topic is around a fashion website, a gallery. Get creative, get fun, throw some dresses up there, maybe some cool scarves. It's about to be fall. Awesome, but we can't wait to see those. And then we'll be critiquing those and looking at them. Hello, everyone. Oh, wow, where's everyone coming from? India, hey.
Oh, cool.
Wow, what
Long
time
Beach,
is it
yeah,
there?
Sri Lanka. Hi, guys.
That's awesome. We're so excited that you're here with us.
Dominican Republic, excellent.
Awesome. Anyone from France? We have a native France person? Parisian?
Yeah, it's fine, all good.
Awesome. So great. So yes, we'll be talking about design systems and how to apply and how important they are. And we went into a really great discussion yesterday about how important design structure and design systems are in a large corporation, and even as a small freelancer, and you're designing your own.
Yep,
Awesome.
absolutely.
So we can't wait to get started. Let's talk to the wonderful Phan.
Okay. Let's do a little recap, guys. Okay. We're gonna open the screen and see what's going on. For the guys that basically was with us like yesterday, hello back. I'm happy to see you again. Excited to share like the rest of like the project. So yesterday, like we talked about like the project about stickers, but I'm gonna reintroduce myself to the guys that actually only join us for today, right? So hi guys, I'm Christine. I'm a senior UX designer at Verizon, and I'm gonna go through this. Okay, who am I? What I have worked on, and what inspires me. No, I'm not expiring. Not yet. Okay, so I was born and raised like in Paris, in France, and then I lived in London for a little while, and now I'll call my home like New York. Thank you very much, guys, like for having me, like in the US. And then what I really like is just like traveling, scuba diving, animation, graffiti, like photography, amongst other things, right? So, but that's the capture of little things that I really like in general doing, right? And then, so what I've worked on, I worked before like in agency teams, right? And then some in-house teams as well, and now currently at work like in-house. So the work that I produced was like for both like mobile or web, right? Mm-hmm. And it was like ranging like from banking, news, pharma, service, retail, and technology, right? And then what inspires me? Well, I'm curious in other like creative trade, as I was like mentioning like yesterday, and it just like really hear like how the creative actually work. It's very interesting. It doesn't matter if I reapply it in my work, but it's just very interesting like to see how people are actually like are thinking. So I like to just follow like photography, architecture, industrial design, and what I like to do in order like to do that is to go and to talks and listen to other creative, but also like keep the creative juice like going by going to see exhibition, watch TV, all that kind of things. There's there's music too. I like cooking. I didn't mention that yesterday. I really like barbecue, and I make my own barbecue. So
it's probably one of the most creative things you can do. Just try to put some food together.
Exactly. Okay. So so that's a little bit about me, right? And then, so what are we talking about? So yesterday, we talked about like a project that I played with using like, of course, like XD, and design system was like stickers. What stickers is about, why it came up to Plan, it's because one, I like stickers, and two, it's just like there are like apps who does it there out there, but I kind of didn't quite like it in some way, shape, or form. So I thought like, hey, how about like just like make mine and take like basically pictures that I've taken that are just like propped into like my app and just like go and edit it, right? And just like go and share it on several social media at the same time. Right. So that was like the premises of it. So the plan of yesterday was like I run like through the overview like of the project, the what it was, why it was that, what was the project about, where the users are going to be able to share, how they're going to do it, who actually are they going to share to, and then when are they going to do it? So it's always the same question as I was saying like yesterday. Whatever the order is always about the same question that you want to answer. Then I delve into my discoveries like process, right? So like basically like whatever competitive analysis, like audit that I've done, any task list that I've done that help with the roadmap or user flow, right? And then I went through ideation, how I come with inspiration, how much like I draw, and I did like actually some wireframes using like a very light version of like a design system for me to be able to just like design him a little bit faster. Oh, Zubair, you like barbecue too? Like I like that too. Anyway, so today what are we covering? So I'll show you a little bit like the before and after of like the design system that I use, the before for the wireframe and the after that what I'm going to use today for the mockups. And there's a few things because we talked about consistency, naming, how to group things, and how it's you start with a small subset, you try to name it, you test it, and you just like the evolution of it, right? And just like and how like you never get it right the first time, but that that kind of bit. You just like okay. So and we go through the mood board, the mockups, and hopefully we'll do also like a little bit of simple prototype interaction and also like a little bit more complex one, okay? Awesome. And of course, I have like the little tips like to recap at the end.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, I can't wait to get started.
Cool.
All right. Design systems. Yeah, we really went into seeing a lot of the process work yesterday from your early sketches to your just thinking through you were up on Post-its. You have that image of your Post-its on the wall.
Yes.
And so we had a really great comprehensive view of how to get started with this process and then start to apply even a wireframe design system, which was awesome to see.
Yeah.
So check out that one if you guys want to see that.
Thank you. So as like we were mentioning like yesterday, this is how like I do my process, right? It helps me like to do it this way. For each project, it's like going to be slightly different, and then you'll find your groove of how you do it. But you know what? Actually, it's just like pay me like how you do it. It's not because I use Post-it notes or like whatever weird kind of blue little tag to say that's going to be my keyframe and things and my user flow and things. Please, share.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Everyone has a different process.
Yeah, totally.
We'd love to hear yours. This happens to be Chris's.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so recap, that you can see my screen. Yesterday, we've done like the wires. So if I go here, you see, like there is like a little kind of like design system, like component library that I kind of used, right? Yesterday, and then just like to ease a little bit like how I would like drag and drop and just like make it a little bit more like how it would look like other than after like I sketched, right? So isn't far from perfect. It's just to see like, okay, this is roughly what I want to have. And the iterations start at that point, as you drag and drop it, you start to see like, this that happened, that happened, do I like it, do I don't like it? Also like when I do that and also like I drop it like this way, and that you'll see. Right? So when I go like this mode and I almost click, and almost like if you have like, like your family, friends, your coworkers who actually don't work on it, that's super important. And you ask them to do this, right? So what you catch from the wireframe perspective and what I like about this, you see the functionality. Right. Do you have any gaps? And refinements. So it's what I really like very quickly. You can even like animate it if you want, right? To make it a little bit more like this is the experience. But that helps you with this,
So
right?
getting it in front of people who've never seen this work before.
Yeah.
Just find a stranger on the street, somebody who doesn't know.
Whomever works. If it works for you and it's not like problematic with your project and things, absolutely. Go walk to your person in a coffee shop and ask, hey, this is what I'm doing. Would you mind? I'll buy you a coffee. Would you mind just like to just like help me out?
Testing it in context.
Yeah.
That's great. And doing that testing at the wireframes.
Yeah.
Which is, it's important.
The earlier the better, right? Just like because it helps you with the flow and functionality. Is it at the right spot, right? So something super simple that I'm going to show you. I think like yesterday, what did I put? Da, 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 and waiting music that I'm singing it. Da, 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 da. There is, and I'm gonna come. There is like one page that I had here yesterday. Anyway, on my flow, it was about the preview, right? And the preview, I put it much earlier in my flow here. But as I was like drawing it and then I was doing my wires, I thought like, well, that doesn't make sense. I knew that I needed to put a preview somewhere. And I remember my first iteration was, do I actually need a preview or do I allow them to actually skip the preview? Right? And then I thought like, well, you know what? How about when you prepare something, when you post something on social media, you start to type it and stuff, and you just wait and you look at it and you hit post, right? So I thought like I'd move the preview and so like, okay, so like, it needs to be the selection of what I want to do, creating my stickers, the preview needs to happen then, and then sharing. So, like, as like I do that.
That's great.
It works.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have known unless you took it through and actually saw it in motion, in action.
Absolutely. And then also at that time, what also starts to spark for me, like, going through, even like simple prototyping or just like looking at clicking like through like the screens, that also start to help me with interaction design, right? I'm just like, okay, so it's great. Click, 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 click. We're happy, but I'm just like, okay. So our job is also to bring engagement and delight. It's kind of nice when you just like the little moment that it goes like in and out, like in ease in, the button does this, you're just like, oh, that's cute. It's all you need, It's just like, and then it makes you happy as a designer too, like to do that, right? It's just like, so it helps for that. A few things, functionality, gaps, but then reorganization of your flow, but also like it starts with now the interaction design. Okay, good. I've done enough on this one. We're gonna close this one, okay?
Awesome.
Good. Now, what are we gonna do? What we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the two different design systems that I was talking about, right? So now we look like what we've done yesterday. It's great, and I'm comparing two things. One was like the design system that I said like, oh yeah, guys, I built that to just drag and drop for my wires. It could have been just like even a version of like the design system that you find in gray, right? Gray boxes. But what I wanted to highlight here is these differences of what happened. Okay, so on the UI kit here that I'm using, mind you, that's mainly for us, right? In general, that what you use is drag and drop, right? The rest of it, the component library, is basically this, but not on a sticker sheet, is what is on my left panel here, right? And then there's a documentation to know exactly the spacing and why we're doing this, and the do-don'ts. Visual representation is actually like probably the most useful for all of us to know what like the do and don'ts. And then the coding part is for the dev. So that's the overarching of the design system. So this is the UI as like we know it, right? Send it with drag and drop. But I'm coming to what I'm talking about. Okay, so here, like yesterday, the way that it was built, we had navigation, let's say the status bar, and the icon. This one is minuscule, the tick and the selector, the caret, pagination, more, you got it, right? And I call this like CTAs. I know, controversial. And then stickers. I had section called stickers. Did it make sense? Well, maybe for wires or something to drag and drop as a component at the time. But you'll see probably for this design system, maybe not so much, right? So, and I have a lot of them too. Selected, not selected, the folder, the share, the friends, and the graphics, same thing, right? Remember, like yesterday I was saying, like, why do we have this? We have this as a design system to try to synthesize an element and component that can be reusable, right? And can be also used multiple times. Right? And it will answer like the most use case, right? So it doesn't mean you cannot introduce new ones. It's absolutely not what I'm saying. It's just like you want to be mindful of things because sometimes you can just reuse it in one way, shape, or form. And then if you don't, in some ways this is what happened. That's the reason I keep this. It's because that becomes bloated, don't you think? It's just like because what do you need? I need to have round stickers and a sticker selected. It's a state. Pardon my voice. Let's have some water.
We were talking a little bit about what makes a design system yesterday, and what falls under the category of design systems.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about that?
We can talk a little. I think you're hitting some of that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
What makes a design system?
Okay, so yesterday the definition that we found, that was a very good one. If we want like to share like later like the link like on Medium article that we referred to, it's the go-to point, the Bible, the reference of everything. So for people who do production like us, like designers, but then developers, so the production team, right? So that reference is composed of several elements. One of them is the style guide or the UI kit that we most like usually like referring to. I'm just like, oh, what does a difference with this design system? This is what we used to, right? On the left, this is what you used to with Dragon. Great. So of course, that's part of it. But then there's like the component library. This becomes a component, right? So imagine this not like several elements about the same thing, but for example, this is going to be a component, this can be a component, and so on and so forth. That could be like a composed component because it's based on primary and secondary, right? Okay. So, but that's the component library. But then you have also the documentation. What happened? What is this? Well, it's like the brand. What is accessibility? What is also like the tone of voice, and then the colors, anything like that we usually just read in a brand style guide is going to be all actually this. It can be the grid as well. How do you use it? Is it like, do you have a mobile native versus like a mini web and then web? So maybe you use the same grid. Do you use it? Maybe not. Then you need to actually like document this because, you know, it's great. Like, let's say like Alex, you start with me and I have the knowledge, but I go on vacation or something and she doesn't know and she needs to figure out, and there's like a deadline. It's just like, where does she goes and check? And she's 2 weeks, you know, within the job, and it's just like this pressure. Of course, naturally, you would go and ask another designer that's on the floor, totally. But sometimes you're just like, okay, just like, where should I go? And hopefully on the onboarding part of things too, she will know that, oh, I can find it here, and this is where you actually go. Right. Naturally, you could go and check. If you don't find it, go and ask somebody else. Right. But you know, it's always the go-to place, right?
It's the holy grail.
Absolutely. What englobe also all that is like how you would give feedback. Alex is new, and she works on a different product than me, right? We didn't actually talk about this yesterday. And then she said like, hey, actually in my experience, we checked, we went even to governance, and governance is people who just like check, like if you know, like it seems very consistent and smooth and seamless throughout like the application, because everybody usually kind of do a slice of it or a journey. And then she said like, hey, I have something that I need, a component, and I think you justify actually to be like a design system. But you come and you say like to the guys, like you just like, or the team, the people who just actually do it, and say like, hey, I have a contender. And this is why I have a contender. And you come and chat and say like, hey, how can we do it and make it happen? And we say like, yeah, actually, yeah, you know what? We probably need to design one for you. This is how it goes.
So that even falls into implementing new designs, new design elements and components into an already existing design system.
Totally.
Which is a whole different, almost could be a whole different course in itself, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And how to implement that and have your voice be known. Right now we're talking about applying just one specifically.
Yes.
And how to do that, but you can see how important a design system can be and especially in a large organization such as Verizon or any other place. It's really what keeps the ball moving for a design team.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Otherwise, everything gets kind of crazy very fast.
Yeah, because, see, it becomes very bloated. And what happened, imagine you have a master UI kit and you have every single permutation. So imagine after a couple of years, you have like 20 designers working on it. If you have every single permutation, you would have like hundreds of components.
That would be wild.
Where maybe you don't need to.
And I'm sure plenty of places have that right now. I'm sure plenty of places have a design system or component library that is just half of it's not being used.
Yeah, absolutely. So it happens.
It's all you just gotta make sure you pay attention to it.
Yeah, it's like cleaning up your file before you do a deliverable.
Oh yeah. I wonder if anyone in the chat has a design system or a component library that you think like, I don't think I use half of these anymore. I'm sure there are some of you out there.
What do you mean by is design system is so useful for brand book? What do you refer as brand book? Is it the brand style guide? Is it like do you mean style guide in that sense?
Maybe it's more of a style guide in that way.
So design system is yes. So design system is here. You have the style guide, and your UI like a kit. You have the library, which is like within like a section. And then you have like a documentation, which is like still like also like overarching all this. And you have like the feedback, governance, like even like a thinking of like communication, onboarding. But that's kind of the team. It kind of not really reside under the design system. It's still parallel like the like the operational bit of like how that actually like world function.
Yeah.
Right. So it's how we basically just like fall into. Did I answer your question? Okay, yes.
Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Excellent. Okay, so you'll see a stream like this, like the stickers and the graphic. We'll see in a few minutes. Oh yeah, I went a little bit like bananas in purpose, like on the font. It's like, yeah, I like this on the gray and things. They're just like, it is bananas, maybe not as much. And then I use all these colors. And actually, like I use mainly like the gray. Frankly, the other colors was just helping me to flag what was my keyframes. Okay, and the design system today. Okay, so there is little kind of like a mini angel that helps like to prepare all this. Right. So this is how we just like let's make a little bit more sense of it and combine certain things. Right. So navigation the same, and then the icon actually like has been a little bit cleaned up as well. In some ways, I kept actually CTAs. Okay, so in the design system that I use basically at work, we call that button. But look.
If people don't know what a CTA means, it basically means call to action. So a button is typically what it is. Sometimes it can be something else. Yeah. But we're talking about buttons.
Yeah, exactly. And then because like it's for my sticker stuff, I kept like CTAs, right? Because I'm the only one who use it. But after that, it's more like delving into the naming convention that you have. Of course, have to make sense, right? So that makes sense to me. I don't share it with anybody. But when you start to share with other people, pick their brain about what they understand, because like you need to make sure that when they go and look for an element here, it makes sense.
Right.
Right. So that what's guided and what nested under each things.
Yeah. So even just with that, the simple label, Chris uses CTA, someone else would use button. Really, just knowing what the other designers are going to be able to reference it as. Yeah. And being on the same level with that word, whatever that word is, whatever that name is. Right. It could be anything.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, okay, so you know, like here I had like earlier, I have stickers and graphics, right? So I cleaned that up. I said like, not good, not work. So I have 1, which is graphic. 2 is a sticker round. Sure, it's make some cleaner. I can repeat this. I just duplicate it. I can do whatever. And this one is because you'll see, like when I have my cards stacked, it's because it's closed. I can also like cheat, right? Because I call it closed, but I could do it folder. Actually, could even rename that to just folder. Because when you expand, I just need to expand it. That's pretty much it, right? It's just like the folder. And then I have my logos that I'm gonna use. See my font, I played a little bit like more, like and just like organize them, like of what it means. That's, for example, the card text, the secondary CTAs, and I'm playing and making sure that basically you go to the eye doctor here, and that's the primary like CTAs is like on bold white.
I know.
Okay? And then that's my
You have to read it
colors.
like this.
Yeah, pretty much. Squint your eyes. Close your left eye, right eye.
And speaking of stickers, you guys, we are almost to the chat and win for stickers. Perfect topic here we're talking about. So get ready, and we'll get right back to that soon.
And then, okay, colors. Actually, this time I use them a little bit more. Okay, cool. So now that you've seen that, we're gonna dwell on, nope.
I like that word, dwell.
Oh,
It's dwell and dive, right?
yes.
I love it. It's great.
Oh. I'm sorry. I found my file. Okay. Thank you for waiting for me, guys. Okay. So, but before I do that, I want to show you.
Awesome. We'll let Chris kind of figure out what she's going to show us exactly. And how about we start talking about this chat to win? It's real soon. Speaking of stickers, I think maybe if you guys let's talk about how many stickers do you actually have on your laptop? Like, what's the number of stickers you have? And don't be shy. We know some of you have like 20. Maybe one of you maybe you have none. I have none on this one. I feel ashamed. I feel like I'm not truly a designer
I have
or a
stickers in my
techie.
work one. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like we all have those. So let us know, put the number of stickers on your laptop for a chance to win 100 more. You could just cover
That's
it.
so cool.
It's a great amount, 3x3. You could use them for anything. Use them for your own brand. Maybe use them as like your business card even. That'd be fun
Yeah.
to get someone's business card be a sticker. That would be awesome. All right, we'll be right back. Awesome. Hi, guys. How many stickers? So we have 0, 6, 1, purist. I love it. Minimal. I see what you're doing there. None. You need stickers. Someone needs stickers. 3x3 stickers. 7. Who has the most? I think 7 was the highest.
Oh, just the question was like, how many stickers
do you have on your
computer?
laptop? Yeah. I mean,
Sticker mule.
I
book
think at my
stickers.
most I had at least like 10 on my old computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because not even down here, we're not even talking about one right here.
I try to like I have like one in the middle here, like at work, and it's just usually just like basically by where like
Pin.
basically I push.
Hello, you did it. All right, way to go. Congratulations, you got 100
Yes.
Sticker Mule stickers.
Excellent.
And for everyone in the chat, you also win just a slightly different prize. You have an Adobe Live link to get you a discount. I think it's $1 for 10 stickers. Great option. Good job, you guys. Bipin you're gonna have so many new stickers. You're gonna have 100 stickers on your laptop now. Can't wait to see them.
Cool.
Awesome.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, I
very
found my
cool.
fine, so thank you so much.
Ooh, we're in the mood board.
Yes, because we're doing this now.
Whoa.
Come on, I'll show you like enough, or like
Love
the
it.
structure. Yeah.
Yeah, we're like,
so just like
gray
mix
boxes
it,
are
like,
gone. We are in
just-
the mood board,
Come
people.
on, colors. Jesus, colors. Okay, so the mood board. Most of you guys like know that you need to be like excited like about like different colors to find also like what the brand is about, what the tone of voice, and just like match that about your design and things. And then a lot of colors, like you see this that I picked. It's just like I do like a lot of like color thing, like based on the teal, blue, green kind of colors. I really like it. Occasionally I have a pop of like pinky, like orangey, like yellow, but I tend to go like into bluish kind of like
that
color.
the cooler color
the cooler
palette.
colors. I kind of really like
I get
it.
that vibe.
It's just like you see like the app, the presentation and things. It's really much like the color palette. There's always a pattern. You'll notice like there's always something. You have a style. There's always something that comes up, especially when you see your personal work. And I think it just always comes a little bit.
Your own personal brand. Yours is more of the cooler tones.
Oh, what is a mood board? Okay, so it's a
Great
good question.
Great question.
A mood board is all the color and visual elements that need to help you design and bring like your app and your brand like to life, right? What else? What can we say like about like what a mood board help you with?
It helps you kind of rein in your. There's so many ways you can create and make something look beautiful, right? So a mood board just helps you kind of bring it in, and slowly as you start to build, when you start to see a pattern of what maybe you think this application or this website or this brand really exemplify in your mind, maybe you've centered the mood board around an idea or a word or even a color palette.
And usually like it's either, if it's your app, then you need kind of like to define, to go like, what do I want from this app, right? For example, for me, stickers, where it's like it needs to be fun, it needs it to be colorful enough but still restrained at the same time, very legible, so you know, like enough contrast that people can read and things, but you know, like it's like the tone that you want it to be. What can help for your projects too? It could be like, if it's a client, you ask your client, so what do you imagine the app to be? And you let them talk. Let them talk, totally. It's just like whatever they say. And then this is how you actually go then and just grasp like me, I like to scribble everything that they say as words, like keywords. And I go away and just like, what does that evoke, right? And it's even better sometimes if they have examples of things that they like or they imagine it to, that gives you a little bit of guidance to where to go. But sometimes you would go a different, like...
How would you describe this mood board in front of us? Say that kind of, what type of words do you think center, or thoughts do you think center around the mood board? Maybe to give a little bit more of an example of kind of what you were thinking.
I wanted something like a good color contrast, right? Fun. So the pink is for the pop of colors, like enough contrast between like these. Like I like the blue, so that's the reason I picked those. But you know, it's still enough contrast, right? Fun too. So, and I wanted to tap into like different kind of like coloring palettes. So you cannot. I'm not designing just like for me, or just like just for a woman and men, or just like boys and girls. It was not about that. How mix of colors can I pick that would be like just like fun enough, that means like it is sticker, so there's like link to a coloring fun and bits, I see. And then just like still restrained, because I don't want the color clash of things, because it's what I've seen of the other app, and it was like really nice, but me, I wanted a little bit more pared down, but it was just personal.
And everyone has a different style of how they mood board as well, and what kind of styles they lean towards, maybe what styles they feel comfortable creating with and working with, and yours is the cooler tones of colors, which I really like. I love the pop of pink.
Right, and the fun part, like it's just like this
is one of the most fun things to do when you're designing.
I'm a kid inside. It's just like, you know, it's just like showing that the funny kind of bits like of it, right? As a sticker.
Yeah, this is the fun stuff. This is where your mind can really go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's basically my mood boards, right? Okay, so I have like my sticker sheet here, just like, you know, just like to refer to it, but...
Do you refer to it as a sticker sheet, the component? Do you refer to it as a sticker? Because it's, or are you just calling it a sticker sheet because you're making a sticker app?
I think it's...
Typically, I don't know, do you?
No, it's a cheat sheet.
Okay, got it.
I call it a sticker sheet because we do stickers. I was just like, sorry.
That's great, I love that.
Okay, so this is what we want to achieve for today. Let's try to give it a fair good shot, right? So that's the app that we want actually to do. And you see, like when I was saying, like, hey, when I put it like into like a prototype on the wireframe, and then I start to think like, what do I miss as a screen? Is it the right flow? Is the right flow? Then I start to think of interaction, and then interaction comes, and then guess what? Interaction comes. I mean, multiplication of screens, of course, to do, but the pink bits that I have here under is basically my keyframe. Remember, I had 11 of them. I removed this, but I had 11. That's my keyframe.
Those were your key wireframes from the previous.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everything else that comes to play here is equally important, but that means that, I'm thinking to introducing interaction. Yep.
That is great.
So that's the reason like I want you to break that up. Okay, and this is what we're going to try to achieve today. Wait. Or
Everyone
not.
wait for it. Everyone hold on.
And black hole. Okay. Come on. Oh. You know, when I don't
There
click
you
a
go.
prototype.
Beautiful.
Ready? So stickers, the stickers, and then I want to go in pattern. Go this.
Awesome.
Right? We're gonna look at that. And then I want to select about 4, right? Next, I'm creating my stickers. This is what happened, right? I place it. I'm going to create it, and I have feedback that it created 4. Do I want to preview skip, right? And then the preview, I can actually save it as a draft. That's what I changed also from yesterday. Next, and then I'm selecting where I want to share them, right? And I want to share them, and you go, and I have my final share confirmation. And look, and even like some friends actually share like some stickers that I can go and look, right? So this is what we're achieving today.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah? Okay.
Really
So
come
we
a long
ready?
way, those stickers. My
Yeah.
goodness.
Well, might as well make it fun, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Had some really fun prototyping actually behaviors on that too. Can't wait to see those.
Okay. So I started like a little bit, like, so, you know, we can also like get it like working, right? So this was my splash, right? So I just like dropped my splash here. I think like, let's go and see this. No. And I had a fill of white. Do you have a preference, guys? Because I put it blue. And if you don't want me to put it blue, say it.
Like
I'll move on.
As the background?
Yeah.
Oh, kind of
I'll move on.
doing like
Tell me. Tell me. What I'll do though, I'm gonna add the text though. Oh God. It's super small.
We're co-designing here, so if anyone has a preference on the white or blue background, this is your opportunity to design with us. Cornelian's asking questions about flow.
Yes.
I ask, how do you contain a flow that you mentioned? What is the flow? Point A, point B. Flow for the...
How do you contain the flow, the scope that you mentioned? Oh, containing and not going overboard of dwelling into different direction?
Yes,
Is it what you meant?
I don't know when to... when I create, I don't know where to start or end. I see.
Oh.
Well, that helps actually with the wireframes, right?
Yes. So it's the journey that you want to do, right? So the journey that I'm doing here, like imagine I'm doing stickers. So there's a lot of things. Is it like you create are you creating your account? Is it your first time? Are you creating stickers from where? Did you link your account to your social media, right? So all those are different flows and different journeys. Mine is one thing, super condensed to this. The person is gonna come, tap on the app, open the splash, select the folder that they want to create the stickers, create the stickers, preview it, select which social media and share it. So it's select and create and share. That's the only journey that I go, right? So the reason that I'm containing it is because this is what I want to just like address.
Right.
And anything in between for the animation is still contained within this, right? But I don't dwell above like what happened after I create the stickers. Stop. This is the journey that I'm doing. This is how I contain it. Does that?
Do you so you stick within what you want? It's what story you want to tell specifically.
Yes. That's specific,
and you make sure you don't go beyond what you need to tell in that story.
No, I tried. That could be like another flow, and with another set of screens, right?
Mm-hmm. It's just like writing a story, Cornelian. Just gotta know your beginning, middle, end, and so that when you can tell it to someone else, they can follow it. That bit. Perfect.
Okay, so I'm gonna go for yellow, and for yellow, and then this. I think, like if I remember, I put it at super big. No, and then make it bold.
Keel asks, do you think design systems should be created at the beginning or at the end?
It depends is the answer.
You love that answer.
Designers just like thanks.
It depends.
The reason I'm saying it depends because it depends if you have one existing or not.
There you go.
That is what I meant, right? So if you don't have one existing, you will create it like there, right? And tweak it as you go is never going to be perfect. Give it a shot. Start with few elements, see if it works. More like kind of that way. So when do you do it? It's just like you start as soon as possible. You see, because you build in fact like your component library. Right? So you start with that, is your component library. And you'll see pretty quickly as you design in things, how do you duplicate and start to cater for every single screen that you have uploading your design system. But that's just your library. And then as you go, you basically clean that up and so like, I maybe don't need to do that, so, right? So it's kind of how you start. Or you could just like spend a lot of time thinking, okay, so if I draw my card this way, how can I reuse it on a sustainable like level after? You know
Recycling.
what I mean? So if it exists, you basically use that one. It's like the short answer to it. But
I see.
You would probably like refine it as you go if you build it from scratch as well. Because you'll see, like as you go, you say, oh, I need this for the time being because you need to move on and get like your project going. But at some point you probably will have like,
So it truly does depend.
Yes, yes.
But good note for all designers who are going through their own design systems to make sure to not bloat. That's your word you're using.
Yes.
Don't want a bloated design system with too many components, unnecessary, things you're not using anymore. So here's a little tip if you're working on it right now. Double check right in the middle of your project what you're actually using. Maybe you're not using those button components anywhere. And actually in XC, you can actually see if you're using your components in the actual flow you're creating. So a little tip. That and save your work. Do both of those things right now. We're just helping you be better designers.
Yep. Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right.
Looks
Awesome.
better, right? Like this. Yes, it does.
Awesome. So we have one comment around blue being background.
Blue?
We got one blue comment, no white comment. So we got two blue comments.
Okay. So now, which blue? And you say stop.
Oh boy.
This one.
Stop. I like that one. Oh wait, no, try it again.
No, it's fine. Or this one.
Okay, yeah, that one I can't read.
Oh, this
one. That one hurts my eyes.
I'm not good at this one. It's too much. It's too much contrast.
Honestly, that last one reminds me of like Wes Anderson intros.
The last one.
That last one. That last darker green, blue.
So do you want this one or do you want the previous one? It's pretty intense.
It is kind of intense.
Okay. We'll leave it at this.
It's all to the discretion of the designer.
Oh, just can say white. We can leave it white. Yeah, my original kind of stuff was actually not. was actually light blue. We can leave it. I can maybe move this.
Yeah, white actually looks pretty good.
We'll do it in a bit. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, so what are we doing here? My sticker book. So I have to put... No, it's not what I want to do. Thank you very much. No,
Does anyone else ever yell at their screen a little bit? Like, well, no, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly yelling at my
But
computer.
sometimes, like, okay, so what happened earlier is my computer went and didn't open like a file.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties.
Right. So, and I was just like, no. And I started to stroke my computer, talk to it. And so, like, no, you're really nice. And just, like, was, thinking, like, you're really nice. No, truly. It just...
You went the opposite route.
Please be kind.
Instead of yelling, you went words of encouragement.
Well, yeah. Well, you kind of want it to just work, I don't want to leave you down, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I go the other route. I'm like, what are you doing, computer? I pay all this money.
Yeah.
But you're probably at the right. You take the right approach. Just calmly.
I don't know. This is like for a few minutes. I was just like, no, I don't like it. It's just like, what are you doing to me? I'm just like, no. Those guys, they want to see what I'm doing. Okay, and then my folder. Where is it? Folder closed. There you go. Okay.
So you just use the repeat grid for those stickers.
Yep.
Which is a great example of how you can use it for your daily creative challenge.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about today. So
Yes, that would be cool.
It all works together. I wonder if we're gonna get meta again today. I really like that. Maybe not. I can hope.
Okay, we have 5 folders, right? And then I have to alternate. So this one is actually, let's call it the right way, shall we? Graffiti? No! I always have that problem with, right? And then this one is what? Oh, come on, Christine. Sneakers.
Everyone's very relieved to know they're not the only ones that talk to their screens.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Okay, that's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Well, you don't. We talk to our screens.
Yeah.
Chris gives words of encouragement and love and like patience.
No. Occasionally. Oh, no. Occasionally, I'm just like, what's going on? But yeah, in general, I try to be kind to the computer. Right? The feel of this one. Oh, ben non. It was this one. Nope. Oh la la.
Oh la la. I love these different ways we've sectioned off the stickers. We've graffiti, sneakers, cute animals, food.
And
patterns.
I'm using colors because, like in my wires, I put an outline, and I thought like maybe not as nice to see, and it's a bit like nicer. So what measurements do I have here? I think I have 11 and okay, so maybe.
And all these components just live right there on the left panel. It's really, really easy. You are just kind of plugging in, playing
11
with your work.
Yes, absolutely. I just drag them and just do whatever I need to do to basically whatever I need to do. Just let's stop for a few seconds. Like I drag them onto the artboard and place them in design. Not whatever I need to do. Just, please forgive me.
Sometimes you just gotta say, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
It's all good. You live in New York.
Yeah, I know.
That's part of the lingo there.
Yeah.
Machines have a soul. If you're rude to your computer, it won't work.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things.
Interesting.
Sometimes it does not really work. It's true if you swear at it, but. Okay. Right. Graffiti, sneakers. Okay. Yep. Happy with that. And then I have my sticker book here. Put this here. But I'm gonna go and put my little cross and cross. Nope. What am I doing? It's outside of the artboard. Yes. Oh, but
Love it.
nope.
If anyone's just tuning in, we are applying a design system that was created by Chris into an app design, and the app itself is going to be a sticker sharing platform.
Oh,
So we've really gone through the different ways that Chris has created her components and how they've really evolved. Because yesterday we're talking like wireframes, gray and black boxes, and it's really awesome to see how they've evolved. So go back and watch the last stream if you want to later, so you can see where we started this project. Cornelian asks another question.
What?
How many instances of a flow do you incorporate to properly communicate the intended experience? So I think he's talking specifically around like the different sticker categories. So how many of those do you prototype maybe? I actually understand this question. I see a lot of designers do this. They take every almost state that they could create on the page, and they go through each flow. They actually build out each flow for like graffiti, for stickers, for food.
How many?
So, sometimes, and what maybe you're asking is how many of those do you actually are necessary to create? I think I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see that a lot. Sometimes
So
it feels like...
do you need to repeat it for every single folder?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I would say no.
Yeah.
Right? Because the way they intended to have this is the sticker. I'm going to remove the grid for half a second, please. Okay, so because the reason, I'd say one for me for the time being as for today, because this is like the sticker book where the stickers are round, and this, all the other folders, it's just like different kind, like as per like content is different, but all of them are shown as a picture as a rectangular. So does that make sense? How now I start to think like systematically of my stuff. So the reason I'm just like, no, my sticker book's going to be whatever shape. For instance, this one is like round, right? But all the other ones, it's just viewing this one.
Interesting.
So I would say one flow because I always represent the picture in a graphic rectangular. Right. So whether that this open, it says graffiti here, sneakers or whatever, is going to be the same. Because it's always represented the same way. So that's the way that I can contain what I want it to be, basically, and drag.
If it's the same each time, you don't need to. You shouldn't need to create it more than that.
If it's more, okay, let's say like it was a sticker book, and then I would have like let's say like I could also share, I don't know, articles, right? Articles are very different. It's a list of things.
Right.
So in that case, I would have maybe like, a page like this that just like fire up exactly the same way, but the way that I would structure my page will be different because it's always a URL or there's like structure within that page, then I would do that flow. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. It really comes down to for these examples, when you're prototyping an example of something, I don't think showing every single layer isn't going to, I'll come back to it every time I say it, tell your story, describe what you're making. It's almost not as necessary. We get that's the same pattern each time. So yeah, if you don't need to, unless it's completely different, right? Unless it's a completely different format. Maybe you have stickers and you have articles in the same app, and you have to show how.
Yes, unless like the flow is very different.
The flow is different. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I would say like don't. Well, I don't see necessarily like the need to do.
I see a lot of designers do that. I think because it's cool and awesome to see a working prototype fully working.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're like, oh, you can open all of these different drawers, but you're just making more work for yourself.
You
really.
can, as the fun of it. Okay.
For the fun of it,
This
yeah.
is how I would probably pair it, right? The way that I would prioritize it, I would say like, is it like the same flow? Right? It's just like, is it exactly the same content? Does that look differently? Yes, no, right? So if it's a yes, I would do like a new flow of things plus animation. If it's a no, and I want to reproduce it, I'll put it like as a card for me to do, but I'll put it after I've done every single other flow that I need to cover. Because for the fun of it, as you say, like it's nice like to reproduce it. You have like, it's production work, and you just like hump up like a nice like music jam kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
and you just kinda getting zen
it's
about
production work, and
Yeah.
you're just completely in the zone, and you're just like moving around, and you just love to do that. Sometimes we just like to do
You
that.
just need to just repeat things over and over again. I get
Exactly.
that. Yeah. But in the interest of time,
Yes.
and also when you're working, you want to work efficiently. Don't give yourself more than you need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stay on your flow.
Yeah. Okay, so what am I supposed to do here? Sorry, you'll see here it's to do the prototyping. So I just have to remember like how I design all that bits. Okay, so I can just do this. I can copy this. Sure. Let's grab that bad boy. My little arrow here. Oof. And you lost in translation.
You guys, we have about 30 minutes until the design feedback begins. Dun-dun-dun.
90.
So don't freak out. Just keep designing if you're designing with us right now, and get your designs in. We'd love to see today's design challenge today. We're talking about repeat grids. Chris is doing a lot of repeat grids in her app right now.
I'm copy pasting stuff, and I'm using like the repeat grid.
Yeah.
I'm going right.
A lot of those stickers
This
or
one, just like
patterns,
this one.
that's all repeat grid.
What?
And it's all in the interest of saving time and making your life a lot easier.
Right. Let's go. Sure. I can do this. What did I put? 20 pixel. 20. 4. And yes, 1 selected. Right. 1. Oh no, 1 out of 4 selected. Come on. Okay, but that's totally the wrong one, right?
Yeah.
So
Cornelian says, appreciate all the UX wisdom. We appreciate giving the UX wisdom.
yes.
And we all have different places we've picked up this wisdom. Ooh. There you go, just dragging it over.
Yep.
Just dragging it over from the component library.
Okay, and then okay.
And if anybody is kind of like new to design systems, the understanding of what design systems are, this live stream is a great place to learn, but also there's so many resources online. Different companies like to give out, like show their designs, their actual design system that they work with, and have it like available. Who's the one we showed yesterday? We showed Mailchimp yesterday.
we
kind of
showed
displays theirs on their website.
Yeah.
Most companies like to showcase their design system. So to get into specific things like they get into their fonts and their colors and check them out. And even down to like spacing and how they specifically, their brand likes to space their components.
Hey, question for you, guys, because we talk about spacing. What is the spacing rationale that you guys use?
Good question.
Right? So do you take a multiplet of 8? Do you have what is the rationale that you've been asked to use most of the time? Or if you don't, the one that you tend to prefer to use?
What is yours?
Multiple of 8 material design. We use it at work, and then as a default, it's just like, you know what? Actually, that kind of easier.
There you go.
Yeah.
Material design. Boom.
Oh.
Does anyone we're talking grids. We're talking grids now, people. We're talking about repeating grids and what your preference is, what you've been asked to do, what your favorites to use are. Favorite ways of spacing.
Yep.
Santaj says for UI, multiple of 8.
Yeah.
Mariella says 4. It's 4.
Oops.
Good questions. These are the things. These are the nitty-gritties of design talk that we don't get to talk about too much. It's usually how'd you pick those colors and it's beautiful things. But when designing for larger systems, for larger places, where you have to repeat it over and over again, these design systems are so important, and that's where the real design work is. That's where you really get into the gutters and sizes and spacing and grids. I'm seeing a lot of 8.
Oh.
Multiple of 8.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're in good company here.
Yeah. It's classic to use a multiple of 8. It's also easier for, if you need also to calculate it, it's kind of easier. I think I moved my check mark a little bit, I think. Pardon me, people. Pardon me, people. I think I moved my check mark a little bit. Right? I think I moved it.
It's so hard to know sometimes if it's like one.
No,
pixel.
those guys knows.
Oh, people. Oh, yeah.
Sorry. No, sorry.
People know.
What do you mean?
But it's hard to know by eye.
Oh.
Yeah, which is why.
Okay. Is what you meant.
Yeah. There you go.
Is it? Yeah. It's better like this.
Santaj, I hope I said that right, says it's convenient because you can also use multiples of 2 or 4 if you need to finer control and still fits the same grid.
Yeah, because if your grid is basically even number, right? It's a 2, 4, 5. It's kind of easier to kind of pare it down to. Yes. So yeah.
Perfect. If you're just joining us, we are geeking out over grids, which is great because the design challenge today is all about repeat grids. So this is working out nicely.
Oh, that's the last one. Oh, no. Nonsense.
That's great. Systems design.
Good. Land, a tap, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Ooh, and that gets created. Ha. Okay, cool.
That's great.
This here. Okay.
I really like how this app turned out. I'm really liking that preview screen.
Thank you. Creating. Yes.
Questions about what are some of the first things you do when you get a new web design project? So when you open up your computer and start a project. It's along the lines of talking about systems designs and having stuff ready. What do you do when you first open up?
I'm sorry, I'm thinking and doing 2 things at the same time. I guess just put my stuff right down.
It's so hard. It's so hard. Tusharas.
So when I get a new web design project, well, do you have the brief at that time? Can I just condense what you're asking or not? So if I know what I'm going to frame.
Maybe it's around setup or something.
I'll set them for design. I'll need to find out if the solution that I need to come up with is for an existing flow and it is user story, right? If it is the case, has it been designed before? And I'm going to go and refer to see in what way are we redesigning it, right? And it's more in that way. Is it optimization? What is it? What are we doing, right? So if the flow already exists, then you need to come back because it's not as efficient, it's not as engaging, what is the purpose? Why do we need to rework this, right? So if it never, and then you go from there, that becomes your baseline. You do your audit and looking like, do you like the screen, does that make sense with the gap? Is there a problem? Even, and then from there, it's just like what I kind of go look at, right? Just at the flow, if I have like some visual, and go experience it even if it's live, right? But then after that, it's to go back, right? The brief is to optimize X, Y, and Z. Doesn't matter what it is. But then it's to go and so see the brief as well. And the brief is to make sure that you understand the problem, right? And understand what's also like how you're gonna solve it and what is deliverable. So just like pare it down like this. If it's something that has been delivered before and you have a baseline, I would also just go and see like if there's any analytics that you have. Why people have failed at that task? What's the problem? Is it because the button is just like too hidden? Is it because it's a weird color? Is it something distracting? All that kind of things, right? So it's a lot of research before like I even start anything, right? So all preparing this, competitive analysis, the audit, if I have to, like any analytics, what do I need to improve also as an end result? Because it's visually like great. It's just like it's shorter to do and it's visually appealing. But what is the ultimate goal? People need to buy? I don't know. Maybe okay, sure. Right. Then I have to make sure so like what's exactly my end goal is going to be based on my design.
So part of starting is scoping. And understanding completely what you're doing and what you've been assigned, right?
Absolutely. And refer to anything you have previously. If you have to, you can go back. Always go back to just like previous one. If you need to fire up like some new research, go for it. Absolutely. Brainstorm the area or anything that you need in terms of like research. Go and fire them. Fire them up, right? To just run them. But it's what I would start first. On a design point of view, if there's absolutely nothing, then again, that's a new introduction of something. So I would look at the architecture of where it should reside in the current experience. And I looked twofold. Let's say like I already worked on the app or the website, because if I didn't, then I need to understand also what's the brand, what the tone of voice, what do we want to share, all that kind of things, but to be able to pinpoint exactly that new experience, right? So if I don't know the experience at all, I'm looking again at like how the experience around is about. Do they have interaction? No, yes. Is it click? What are we trying to convey? All that kind of things. Yeah. And then, yes, after that, it's like the scope. Right. Back to the scope.
It kind of makes you feel like, it makes you understand the whole feeling a little overwhelmed at first. A lot of people like have like before they can start a project are like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. And you have a lot of legwork to do before you open up and start a project. But with having something like a design system in place, say you're working somewhere and you get a project and you already have a design system in place, you can start way faster and start creating way faster than if you didn't.
Yep, absolutely.
And and you can really try honestly and you get to be creative because you have stuff that's, you don't want to have to redesign the brick each time you build the house.
No.
I think that's what it comes down to, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. That would be a lot of bricks to design. You might as well. I forgot who said that. It was about Legos originally. But yeah, yeah. Oh, Eugene has a question about portfolios. Yes. How can I apply my portfolio on incoming design feedback? You're welcome. Sorry, I'm answering the previous one. Yeah, how can I apply my portfolio on incoming design feedback? Like how can you showcase that you've gotten your feedback about certain projects? Maybe you want to.
Yeah, is it like what you want? Yeah. Where do you find users? Oh no, sorry.
That's
this is the next question. Sorry, I'm sorry.
I think with the portfolio specifically around feedback, if you receive feedback, show the process that show your before states and after. Say someone has really given you, a good feedback session and you go and redesign, it looks nothing the same. Show it. Show that you've evolved, that your process has evolved.
Oh, in that sense.
Maybe in that sense. Maybe not.
Okay, so when you write like a piece like to explain the story, what you've done into that one, it's a lot about like what happened, right? About like setting the scene of what the story is about, what you try to solve, and what you started with. What the material did you have in order to start that project? Then if you needed to do like user research and competitive analysis and audit, yada, 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 then this is the time actually to put it like in your storyline. And then as like you go and just like do discovery, you have like your movement and things. No, sorry, not your movement. You set up like basically all this. You have your flow, you have your wireframes. You went testing, and you went testing like a very simple wireframes, and you have feedback, and then on functionality because they didn't get that bit. Then this is, and it changed. Let's say, imagine you go all pear-shaped, and you have to go back to square one. This is very interesting learning. Why? This is what you kind of need to say. Sometimes we just like, man, it's just like I thought I nailed it. I worked 40 hours on this. It's not that. And it's just like it's eye-opening because you worked in and out like for 40 hours on it and you miss something essential like you didn't convey. Then it's time to go and tweak it. And it's great to mention those aha moments because you're just like, oh God, but this is what we forgot to mention or to do, or it changed basically the perspective of the feature. We just like rechanged like certain component. We did it this way because of that way. It's more like, oh my God, the findings were so powerful.
Right.
We did this. And I think it's what I'm trying always like to do when I tell a story.
Absolutely.
Right.
If there's something you've missed and it's glaring you in the face and it's a huge part of how your product works, showcasing that you've learned that, huge. So it's okay if you spent 40 hours creating it, and getting it to a point, that's great. But getting feedback on it and having to change it isn't a bad thing. It's actually an amazing thing that you can like. And you should showcase that in your portfolios for sure, absolutely.
And then frankly show it to people
Your
for feedback.
portfolio, or
They're just like in the industry, your friends, your family. Show it to somebody who doesn't do design for a living. If they understand what's your storyline, they may ask questions, and that's totally fine. But if they do,
for apps and for portfolio both, or
well,
you're talking about for apps specifically for your product,
Yeah, but for your portfolio, you can show it. I showed it to other people who didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Like what? Like
I think the point is show it to people who aren't staring at making screens all day, because
pretty much
they'll give you a good, honest answer of like, I don't know, I can't see that, I don't know what that means, I don't know how to use this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Show it to your like an aunt, like a very honest aunt.
Anyone that you trust, like who would be able to give you like feedback on it. And it's okay if you have to, it's not really what you're looking for, or you need like to, stagger like basically the change that you will have to do to make it like more like understandable. It's all right.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's just like for all the designers out there, we all in the same boat. Like how we are our harshest critic, and then to do our portfolio is the hardest thing ever because, like, it's just like you just see things and you want to always just redoing, this, and this. And then in the end, you have to pull the plug because, it has to go live.
Yeah. Some tips around user testing as freelance. Well, I think Chris has been kind of touching upon it, User testing freelances can be as organic as you going into a space that maybe would use the product you're making. Or maybe, like if it's a app for a coffee shop or something, go into the coffee shop and just talk to someone and put it in front of their hands. Freelance, that's the cheapest way you can do it as a freelancer for sure.
Yeah.
When you get a little bit larger, do you have any user testing recommendations for anybody maybe the step above freelance or has a little money, extra money to spend on testing? Be on usertesting.com.
Yeah, there's like usually like that's the one that we kind of use. You can do also simple one, like if you need like functionality and stuff like that. It is okay to go like preventing is not an NDA, yada. Okay, so we got that bit covered, but for functionality and things, you need to do either quantity or quality kind of test. The functionality is going to be like probably like quantity you want, and you see the pattern. And they're going to clear out all the problems that you have fairly quickly. But then what you can do is to just go and, if you have like friends, just like show them.
Yeah.
Other freelancers, like other creative, it's just like go ask. It's okay to test it that way too.
Yeah.
If you have a little community, I don't know, alumni? Guys?
Yeah, I mean, kind of what Chris is talking about is more about qualitative findings.
Right.
And as a freelancer, we know you have like limited budgets.
Yeah.
So the most organic way to do that is to reach out to your community, go into the world. I remember in school, part of our projects were just going to test with just going out into the world and starting and test whatever we made. And it's enlightening. It's a little shocking. It's definitely scary, but very, very important. And we were talking yesterday about how even the design system itself needs to be user tested.
Yeah.
Just the components, naming, everything about a design system needs to be tested with other designers because those are the ones who are using it. So there's a lot we can get into about user testing in general, but maybe another stream.
Okay. I have like a few other screens that you do. I'm going to put a poll. I'm going to stop in purpose because of that. You guys tell me if you want me to...
Yeah, till then. Yeah.
So I want you to tell me, guys, if you want me to finish like the mock-ups, but you saw the mock-ups, like of what it looks like, and you got the gesture of how to redo the screens. And for the time that we have left, I can show you otherwise like the prototype, and I don't want to just like cheat you on that one. So I just like, if you want like to see prototypes work after, which I promise and things, I can actually move on to that if you fine with it. And basically, what it means, if I don't finish these 3 screens here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then I move on to basically like doing 2 sets of prototype. The first one is going to be simple, is going to be the tech, right? We're going to play with this. What happened here when I take 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes here, right? And then this one, it's a repetition, right? It's like the other one that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And it's produced. And this one is the card that goes like this. Because I don't know how that sounds is, so I made that up. So here you go. And in that way, you basically can see like the 2 types of like a prototyping. Should we move to prototype?
Sure, yeah. Okay. We have about 10 minutes left before we start looking at everyone's design challenge.
So we'll do that.
Yeah.
So this way I can cover that bit for you guys, okay? So what happened here? What happened is like the user like come here and go and select, and then he goes like the animation go 1, 2, change here. From the frame number 1, you have 18 pictures. You haven't tapped on anything. You tap here. You have like 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 4. Congratulations to us. We have 4 stickers. And then this also like the next button, you'll see like you don't see it here, you don't see it here. It's because you slide in is what we want to do. And then when you tap next, you come to this one, right? And then you want basically this timing to come, this tick to come too. So basic things for animation, like especially for this the product and things, you always need to name exactly the same thing all the time. It cannot be blue here, green here, and red here. It's not going to understand that, especially for auto animation. It needs to be exactly the same. right? And then what else? Yeah, if you're not sure for the timing, slow it down, because usually we tend to do it too fast.
Slower
Guilty?
better. Slower is better first to start with, yeah?
Guilty. And then if you want like to do it like to practice when with one thing is like I'd say like play with ease out. I know like some of you are completely like comfortable with any other ones, but I say like for the one less comfortable, ease out, because he does this, right? So your animation start and he goes fast and slow like this. And it's actually very nice to see. Right, it's a little bit more sort of you just like because the human eye needs to also like decompose this and fill the gap with their brain, right? And it does this, right? So it's kind of nice. Here we go.
The ease in, the ease out.
Yep, pretty much.
Without fail, start slow. Ease in, ease out is a good place to start with animating.
Okay.
And auto animate needs to be the same on both screens. The naming.
Yeah, it's for the naming
and
the
also
naming
the
of the
actual
file.
image
So
itself.
basically, this if it names something like in particular, and let's say like it's like a cards, then this on this frame needs to be called cards. It cannot be called graphics. That's not gonna the program's gonna go like I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Makes sense.
Okay. So here, for example, like the way that I've done it. So okay. So we're gonna go like this. I want this to time. You'll see why. It's because like on the flow that I have here, when I tap from here, I want it like to just go. It takes like about like what 0.6 seconds. As per like I go here, I tap. What happened? Okay. So I think I selected time, like so you have like your trigger here, tab, drag, time, voice, keypad, but we're gonna mainly use like tap, and time. Okay, so I want tap at this point here of time. The action can be like transition or to animate. This is mainly what we're gonna use also like today, right? But right now I want transition because the user needs to tap here. Right, the destination is usually pretty smart for XD because also like it tells me exactly the next frame, so I don't have to worry too much. But you can select whatever frame that you want by clicking here. The animation I wanted to dissolve. Yeah, it's fine because it just got to disappear, and it's going to ease out, and that's the duration. So the toughest usually bit for all this is the timing, and you can look at it. We talked about it yesterday. It can be 35 times, 50 times, like as much as you need, whatever you're comfortable with, okay? This way you can get it basically done like right at your own pace, right? Okay, so this one was a tap, right? I went to tap, transition, next photo, dissolve, right? This one is about like timing because I want to make it as if somebody taps several times. So I'm tweaking it for the eye of the user to convey it to somebody else. So I'm using time this time, and I'm using 0. And you see why. Because I want it to do tuk, 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 right? And then I'm using time here. The delay is like 0. You'll see there's others, but I selected to 0. And then auto animate, which pictures, easing is ease out, and a duration of 0.3 seconds, right? So this program is also very smart because if I set up it here, if I go and just like select it again, right from this screen, it actually like copy paste exactly that as well, right? What I need to show you is this is one of the layer. Yeah, you see why. Because on this, my CTA is below. Can you see this? Right? Because I want it to go move up. Okay? So it's going to move up because it's after 1. I ticked so I can go next because it could be 1. And then you go 2, 3, 4. Right? And the next button is going to stay there.
Right. So that CTA doesn't even appear until the user makes a selection.
Yep, absolutely. Right? And it's going to fall into, oh, okay, 4 stickers done. Then at this stage, I want the user to tap on next. Right? Makes sense? So I would select trigger, tap, transition, and then it's like the next screen, dissolve is out 0.6 seconds. Let's have a look.
Ooh.
No. I'm sorry, guys. It's the second time that I do this.
It's okay. They're very forgiving.
No, it's what I thought. No, I don't know. I thought I didn't select like prototype.
There you go. Strange.
Yeah?
Wow.
Next. Yes? Makes sense? Cool.
Sounds
Okay,
great.
so we have really small time left, but you know what? I'm still gonna start to show you this. You can actually reach out to me if you want me to tell you like how I've done this bit. But okay, so you follow me. We're gonna go super fast. We have 2 minutes. This one is tap, right? Because I want them to tap. Transition, destination, splash, dissolve, ease out, 0.3 seconds. This one becomes timing because I want barely like enough time to be able to just see it and then get them immediately to the folder to select the stickers, right? 0 transition folder dissolve is out 0.4 seconds. This one is what? They're gonna tap on patterns and on tap auto animate destination is out 0.3 seconds. This one is here, right? It falls down. The sticker book is here. I hid basically everything here. And then this is going to take them to, again, time is 0 because the next frame is the card when hide entirely, right? 0, auto-animate, folder, section, next screen is out 0.2 seconds. Remember, we're doing this. So we're doing kind of either super quick and slow, or just like kind of like slower, kind of quick. But in that instance, you see why I want to do it quick. Because earlier we did like this with a tick. I want to do it quick, 0.2 seconds, because the card gonna go like this, right? That's the reason I'm changing the timing, okay? I want to do it quick, and then this one.
I think we're gonna have time after to show that prototype.
Okay.
Yeah. So no worries, guys. We'll see this. We're gonna see this in this action right after design feedback.
And then this one, just like link it like to the other screen as a tap and auto animate.
Yeah.
But we have what?
We have 20 seconds.
20 seconds. So we're gonna look at again. We nice people.
We'll run through them all again too.
Tap. Transition. Pattern. Boop. I select. Right?
Awesome.
So this is what we've done.
That's great. That's great.
So we go back.
We'll go back. Yeah. We'll see all these. Don't worry. No worries on either end. Did you guys get your designs in? Let's make sure it's happening. We've hit 0 here. I'm on Discord. I can see you when you guys bring it in. So let's double check and go over the design challenge today. We're talking all about repeat grids. If those aren't in, we will talk a little bit about components from yesterday, which you're here for as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be talking. We'll go over components, repeat grid, and everything in between. Okay. Okay. So let's do one more refresh just in case. Okay. So it looks like we have some from yesterday. Awesome. Let's pick out, let's see this one. Jonas, this is your designs. Welcome. And this is from yesterday's Creative Challenge?
Yeah. No crop here. Yes.
Okay. Add your first crop. Okay. Remove. So we have those add buttons are probably components that you've created and used a bunch. We have these 2 different states here. Nice.
Nice.
Cool. So maybe this app is connected to a sprinkler system.
Oh, and then it cool. No assign crop. Excellent. Add crop. Choose your crop. Add.
Cool. Water requirements. I'm liking the tour with the mouse. The mouse says so much without saying anything at all.
It's great.
Yeah. Very cool. What are your initial thoughts?
Very nice. It's like really cool. Can we go back a little bit? There is like one thing. We move a little bit further back in. Stop. My crops. That one. That frame. So my crop has arugula. Info is on the right. Remove like no. It's the opposite. Info is on the left, and remove on the right. So my question for you would be, what is your primary CTA versus your secondary? And then I'll play maybe with that. I don't know. And user testing will tell you, right? If I see information, I would say maybe I want to add it or look at it then. So just like be mindful how you position it. Why do you want to put remove on the right just by accident if you click it? So that would be interesting to see in user testing is what maybe like I would do. Otherwise it looks, like great and play with, I like the remove how it deprioritized, info how it's prioritized, but maybe is like your primary is always on the right or on the left. I don't know, just like test it out, see like what user says, but looks great. I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. There's some feedback from you. Let's get out of this. Let's see what else. We have this Garden Maker Pro. So very cool. This is the same challenge. It's all around their use of components. So I guess we'll watch. Oh, wow. So we're kind of on a slant. But that's fun. It's cool. It's great when you put it on a screen. It's just a little hard to see and watch. Okay. Some options to delete, to remove, to add in. Okay, cool. I think this is kind of where we're living with. Okay, we're on YouTube even. Yeah, any initial, I really kind of love what you're building here.
I really like it. I'm just like, what?
I'm just on my side. Our heads are tilted, as you can see. I'm wondering if maybe we can see some actual just frames by themselves up here. A little bit, yeah.
So remind me, like when you click is when you can go and on the screen and put it like at whatever spot, right?
I think so. It's almost like
you need to select first, and then you go in and just like do it. Oh, that's
maybe
cool.
You can drag it in.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Okay.
Wow.
So it's building your own garden. Their use of components.
Yes,
yeah.
Really nice. Like usually it's the same shape. It's like the same. Only the content kind of change. Even I see like the container from Garden Makers from my project, and then the plus the @ sign.
Yep.
It's just like it's like use like a nice grid, and it's reusable like all the time. It's nice.
Right. So you'll be able to iterate on this pretty quickly, and I think great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great job.
Totally.
That's a fun one.
Yeah. Maybe play like also like I don't know, like on the drag function maybe like a prototype or something.
I think we maybe got to see a little bit of that, but
probably you probably already do that.
Good work. I love it. And loving the presentation. It's already up on Behance. We can read the story through. We understand. So if even we didn't even know what this creative challenge was, and it's some designer somewhere
really
else
cool.
is like, oh, I understand what you've created there. So always working on that presentation as well. Great job. Cool. Here's another one from yesterday's creative challenge. The Gardenizer. Ooh, I'm intrigued. I'm so intrigued. Let's see. I think this is a working prototype. So select split. So we're gonna go square. Select flowers or veggies and put in space. I guess we're picking flowers. Oh, a rose. Maybe a sunflower. Ooh. Maybe a dahlia. Okay, that's great. And then now we're gonna put some veggies. A carrot. Maybe some spinach. A carrot again. Okay, we're going back to flowers. chose right. Rose, dahlia. Okay.
Let's play it another time.
Oh.
Oh.
I did it again. All right, what are your initial thoughts on this
I like
garden
it.
organizer?
It's cute. So like flowers and you put it in your space. I like it. It's like very cute. You have the and with the imagery and things. It's cool. Okay, reorganized. Oh, what does that mean?
It's just reorganized. I mean, maybe a clear function.
Oh,
Let's just
okay.
maybe
So that's just tweaking like what it means then. Reorganized. I don't know if it's that. Maybe.
How do you? Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Maybe like when you have the drop down the selector. The drawer just like popping when because we're seeing hovering like on the screen. What would be nice maybe as a feedback is to highlight what they actually kind of just like highlighting in some way, shape or form. Maybe
that movement there, yeah.
It's an idea. Play around with it. See how like your users actually like it. Or not, and then if they don't, and they don't mind actually just to go and see it. But it's nice to have like a little reference to like which one they select. Similarly, like when you think about people who are impaired visually, like it's nice because this very clearly like selected, so you know which one you kind of highlighted.
So that selection
because you
tool.
cannot hover on app, but if you have a clear selector, imagine like next to Dahlia, you have like a selector on the side of something that just keep moving, then the reader in the back can say like, Dahlia has been selected, let's say, or something like this.
Right. So playing around with a little bit more of the selection itself tool would be a great way to start kind of making this project even better, but I think overall great job.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
your components, I see we have some, it's we're able to see kind of these flower components being reused in different sizes, and I think great. I think it's really playful.
Yeah.
I think once you come out of this main square, I'm kind of losing a sense of what the app is, and if it wasn't for these these little illustrations, I don't think I would know. So maybe playing around with that a little bit as well.
It could be clarification, just like about the prompting.
This Gardenizer font kind of reminds me of like something someone would get tattooed on their arm over in the cool part of town. So it's cool. It's cool. It's bringing it like a lot of attitude back to gardening, and I like it. Awesome. Great job. Actually, I'm gonna mimic your. Good job.
Oh, nice.
Cool. So we have the crops, daily challenge. Cool. I think this one's from yesterday as well. A kill. So growing. Love that. First off, I just love like a really simple splash screen when you know what's going on. Growing. Okay. Plant water harvest, veggies and fruit. It's like a little patch. It looks like this is the plant, broccoli, a different series of fruits down there. Okay, let's see if we have like a full walkthrough. Okay, we do. That way we can make it bigger. Oh.
Nice. Nice transition, I like it.
Okay. Plant, water. There you go. So now you're watering. Again, this Tamagotchi vibe is really fun. Great. That's great.
Nice. It's cute. It's very cute.
I definitely feel like I wasn't expecting that kind of really in that very colorful background after seeing the splash screen being very, like so minimal.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it. I like the idea of playing around with that. A little bit of typography is kind of hard to read because of those colors and these.
I think it's maybe like also like the gradient too. So it's just playing with an outline or something like that. Playing with the color, it's tweaking it.
Yeah, tweaking it. This up here, you're right here. I'm not really. I can't really see that even on my computer.
Yeah.
But your components are very fun.
Yeah.
I can see we see this kind of button. I think maybe you're hitting this side a little too closely. It could be just how it kind of appears on this mock-up.
Sometimes you render a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. but kind of playing with that spacing, you know, working, like we were saying, working with a grid. Let's see, where else? Let's see, let's watch it one more time because it's so cute, this animation here, that broccoli.
Yeah, when you go.
Nice. Just throw the fruit and vegetables up on there. Just throw them on the garden. That's how it works. Very cool, and I'm sure harvest will be the next stage of that. It's very neat.
Yeah.
Anything else you have?
No, I actually agree, like about like the feedback and things. Yeah, a little bit more contrast, like with like the green and the yellow, playing with that a little bit, and a little bit like putting like the buttons a little bit closer, maybe like outlining or playing with just the color. These few minor tweaks, you're doing a great job.
And you know, this is a little bit different.
Everything we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. You know, these ideas for the creative challenges are really fun.
Yeah.
I encourage anybody in the chat who hasn't done it to try it out. It could be totally intimidating because you have some great designers looking at, you know, everybody in the chat's a great designer looking at your work, and whoever's sitting here is going to look at your work, but it's always rewarding. Yeah. You're only going to get better. You're getting it in front of somebody. So I did have a question about something like this, though. We're talking a lot about CTAs, and here we have this kind of almost like sandbox, like anything goes on the screen, and we want the user to click around and have fun with these. How do you feel about this component design with this type of layout?
Because like it's more like CTAs rather than tabs. Is it like what you're saying?
Yeah, no. I'm interested in kind of thinking about what this. You know, we have these different options on the screen, right? And that's so fun. And there really isn't a CTA. Really?
No, it's
right?
more like
it's more exploratory.
It's a selector.
It's a selector.
Yes. It's a selector. So maybe it's just playing with like the shape and how like it behave. I see what you're saying. Yeah, a CTA usually it's because it takes you to something else.
Right.
Somewhere else.
And something like this, an app like this, a game like this, a lot of you guys are designing games too, you know, maybe something to kind of lead to the next step since it's more of a selector, not a CTA. Yeah. You know, maybe like plant your garden. Or make sure the bunnies are hungry, you know, something cutesy like that if that's the vibe. Yeah. But just something to think about.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I don't think we got to see this one down here. Components, garden organizer. Let's do it. Okay. Open up. Oh, awesome. I love when it's full screen. All right. Oh, wow. Look at the dates attached. Water me. Perfect. Nice.
That's cute.
Okay. And look, you have different types of gardens.
Okay.
Okay, let's watch it one more time. So we got a square garden type.
Yeah.
Looks like there's vegetables. Maybe that's fruit drinks. I'm not sure what this one is.
Yeah, I don't know after.
Yeah, maybe we can stay on this screen since it has the most going on.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts?
I like how like you treated, you know, like the your pop-up like overlay, right? So to put like in priority focus the carrot and deprioritize the other one as like they go through, like as they selected, so it makes it a little bit more like clearer. Maybe like play with the contrast of the background in some way, shape, or form, because behind the carrot is only the carrot who's highlighted with more light.
And this one?
Yeah. Maybe play with that or something. See what you can do with it, because I know like an overlay is not as like easy. And like Alex says, I'm not sure like what the vegetables and the water and the flowers after. So that would be actually like pretty cool to know, like what it actually kind of means. Maybe like a planting planner could be for flowers for the last one, but the middle one, I'm not quite sure.
Yes, so this icon, icon, maybe it's fruit.
Could it be feeding? You know, like you put
fertilizing. Maybe.
So you put like, you know, eggs and banana peels and
maybe.
Feed it over,
I would totally go with that. I think we're both not sure of kind of what, I even think this icon is a little bit, I'm not sure, we think it's a flower. So flowers and fruits. All right, thanks. This is the designer talking to us, perfect. Consistency among the graphic items you use, is important. And not just with color, but with style as well. These are different line weights. This has I can see like the bottom we have the dark, bold lines surrounding. That I can get, those are the specific, almost like, they almost work as like visual headers almost, right?
Yeah.
And then you have these which don't, and these are all similar.
Yeah.
And that's great, and I can see you playing with that. But even consistency throughout the entire app itself is important. So you even have this watering can being in the similar style, and even the logo being in the similar style, since we do use an icon. The other thing I've noticed, and I think it's a design decision to make, the carrots. So we have 3 carrots, all the same component. It's like when it gets watered, it becomes bigger.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like how you played with that a lot. So I like that. I think it's subtle, but it's there. This is a slightly tinier carrot. So I think it's a design decision, and not that it was a having an issue with sizing.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see, anything else along with that? I love the idea that I love the flow that you showed us. Speaking of flows, that we've kind of, we got to, we picked the patch, we did a couple examples fully of what you would do with one of these objects. You would place it, you would water it as well, So that was great. I got the story pretty quickly. Very cool though.
Yeah, agreed.
What else? A little bit of, I'm not really sure if this, this arrow, let's watch it really quick.
Yeah. I think it's a marker in terms of time, right? So you basically like here, and I guess like the little kind of like carrot is to say the blue is a reference, so like it has been watered, versus like the other one has not been watered. So maybe it's like it's just playing with like that little bit too.
Yeah, this screen is great. This kind of intro you have for us is great. I think you're on a really good track.
Yeah.
It's Tushara. It's your second one, your second creative challenge.
It's really nice.
Congrats.
Absolutely.
See? Yes. You can do it. Anyone can do it. You can do it. Submit. We can talk about it. We'll give you feedback. It'll be fun. All right, guys. Good job. All right. So we still have time, awesome, to see the rest of your prototypes, which I'm excited about.
Cool bananas. Oh, no, nobody says that. Never mind.
Cool bananas? Cool beans.
Yeah, beans.
Beans, bananas, same thing.
We started with a B.
Cool.
Sorry.
I like cool bananas better, actually.
Okay, so we were at this one, right? So I'm going to go back to this one a little bit, right? Because we did it like pretty quickly. And then, so remember this one, we wanted just to tap, spend almost like no time on this one, because I wanted the user like to land on the folder of my sticker folder. And then when the user is there, I wanted them to say, oh no, actually I want to create stickers like from the pattern folder. So tap on the pattern folder, what happened, the sticker box go, like this. And then it goes like, it hides. Right? And then the other one flares up, pattern flares up. It's what we want to do, right? Cool. So, is what I was saying. Okay. So, reviewing the time again, in terms of the timing, so how we did it. The first one is an action, is triggered by an action. So, remember I mentioned like it was triggered by the tap, and we're going to use time otherwise, right? So, this one is a tap, then you tap on the app. Here, this is when I use time. And I was like, almost like don't want like any like trigger time on time, because like I want them to arrive at that screen. But then when they dissolve, this is when I apply the time. Just like so you have like few, like a little bit of time to be able to read and see what's going on. If it's too fast, I put 0. Well, might as well not have the screen, right? So, and we want to dissolve it. And remember, is out.
Yeah, time is such a strong part of the toolkit when you're creating any type of behaviors or transitions. Play with time more.
Absolutely. Yeah, it takes like a long time to master. And what you happy with, right? And same thing, use a test, change it, yada, yada, yada. But, it's just like, when you're happy with it, then it's probably the good time like to show like somebody else, right? And then here on this screen, so okay, the user can see everything, the sticker book, but they want to select pattern. So this time it is tap again, right? So when we go to tap and I select this, so I can see the interaction that I attached to it. So I select the tab, right? The action is auto animate. And then I want it to ease out and 0.3 seconds again, right?
Cool.
So because what it's going to do, it's going to automatically go, right? You're going to see like it slide here.
Very
right?
cool. Very cool.
Right?
Can't wait to see
It's
it.
here because you see like, well, if I jumped here, it's fine, right? But it's not really what you would expect to completely hide immediately, right? There's also like one thing, so right? So we're going to look at how the folder is done as well, right? So you always have like your stickers like here, and this needs to be here. One thing that you need to do, remember, I mentioned earlier, everything needs to be named the same, and everything needs to be on the same screen, the next screen, right? The reason I'm saying that is this. So some of you totally knows that. For the super beginners, please be mindful for the super beginners, guys. Wait, right? So when this like sheet just like goes down, it hides. I get that bit. The first instinct would be to delete everything, and just to have like this one. It's just to have like absolutely nothing except like this card, right? Just to have this.
I wonder if we can see it. I just want to make sure we have time so we can see it, because we're gonna have to. If we can see the full thing, so everyone can see it before you have to sign off, basically. Because I want everyone to get like their wrap up with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back then. Did I do it in this one? No, I didn't do it in this one. Because I show you it in a different one. Okay.
Cool. While we're kind of finishing up with the prototype here, you'll get to see it fully in a second. I want to just thank you, Phan, for coming out and for teaching us about designing systems. Christine is not going to be with us tomorrow, sadly.
No.
We'll be heading back to New York.
Yes.
But thank you, everybody, for coming through and chat and talking about design systems and how important they are. Anything you want to say to wrap up?
Okay. So, wrapping up?
Yeah. We're at that point. I know. We hit it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're at that point. Okay. So what should I do? This. I'm gonna do this. Then mind me for 2 seconds, right? No. This. This is what I'm gonna give you, right? No. Oh, Christine. No. Wait for me. I promise.
Okay, that's fine. We'll see that one.
I promise. I won't click like a crazy person. We'll go slowly. This is what I want to go to.
Got it.
And this is where I want it to go. Right?
I know. I don't want to see Christine go either.
Sorry. Okay. I'll get it. I promise. Okay. We're going to do it this way, and I'm not going to touch anything.
Got it.
Okay?
You kind of touched something.
Touch something. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to go this way. Just not
There you
touching
go.
everything,
There
I
you
promise. Okay. So, there's like 3 slides, you see. So the first 2 are about design system. They're basically like the takeaway and the tips that we've viewed like over the past couple of days. And the last one is about animation, right? The little one that I showed you, it's just you can do way more things, like more fun and things, but at least that convey enough, when you just like deliver things and people can imagine what's your intent, right? So for the design system, one thing. Start small and test it out as soon as you can, right? Take some elements, it doesn't matter how many, but just start with like a small subset. Build for multiple cases and based on the pattern the most used, right? So that avoid to bloat your iKit and then also like your design system. Otherwise it's too much component, right? group the elements together. Do you remember? Like I had like my graphics and my stickers components. Just you probably can have one. You don't need to do selected that you play with the filters and the coloring. You need just one of it, right? And give a name. Name the elements meaningfully, right? So remember whose users ask them. Just like ask them actually how they look for things and how they understand things.
Awesome.
And just like it helps you with the taxonomy, right?
That's
of
great.
like what it is. The second set is like provide a visual example. So the do-don'ts. That's what works for a lot of us, right? So typography, when there's too much contrast, not enough contrast, when it's offline, when how you use the grid, all the kind of things. It helps so much. I know it's a lot on documentation, but it's so helpful because don't you see, like if you see like the do-don't, bim, you get it, you walk away, and it's great. 6 is use a test and ask like feedback from users, right? Just go ask them.
Yeah.
Just like when you're not sure, sometimes we do stuff and we just say, I don't know, man.
Really
I don't know. It's just like stop. Just go ask somebody. It's cool. The last thing is think of the logistic of how people are going to learn and use it, how they're going to find it, how you're going to walk them through it, how they can refer it after, those little things, how they can give feedback, all those little things.
Awesome.
Regardless of the size of the team. The last one is about like prototyping, right? So 1, name everything the same. Remember, for one frame to another, all the grouping of the things, it needs to have the same name. Otherwise, the screen, the friend's name, no. The 2, point number 2, slow down the animation. We tend to always want to do it quick, and in fact, the human brain needs to just like do it actually a little bit slower. It's kind of nicer.
Yeah.
3, test on a small batch first. Right? Always. It's like any testing, right? So just like try first to just like go and fill in things and how the organization of your folders and things, try that.
Yeah.
4, use ease out if you're not entirely sure how to use all the transition first, right? Or the animation, just play with that. And then 5, slide button in and out when possible. So when the button goes,
These are great.
he's kind of cute.
These are great tips.
There you go.
Awesome. And if you want to reach out to Christine, or Chris, as I've been calling her, her website's up in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you later.
Thank you, guys. Bye.